Test, 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 test. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Preston Sports Podcast. It is April 21st. It's been a while since my last one. I've been doing a lot of draft research because it is draft season. It's one of my favorite times of the year. There's only two or three times a year where I'm happy: the beginning of football season, the start of free agency, and the start of the draft. And that is where we are today. Draft is about a week away. I won't be as involved night one because the Browns traded away 3 first-round picks to get Deshaun Watson. Maybe we'll trade back in, but probably not. But nevertheless, I am still very excited about this year's draft, and I'm not expecting to be as successful as I was last year. Last year, I had a pretty successful mock draft. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know I got the first 5 picks right, and then I got 7 out of the first 10 right or something like that. I was very happy with what I did on my mock. It's not going to be like that at all because no one knows what's going to happen. If you're for example, the Falcons picking at 8, you have absolutely no idea who's going to be there. So I'm going to do a mock draft. I'm going to be drafting on if I was the team, that's what I would pick. I'm not going to do what I think is going to happen. I'll probably do something what I think is going to happen. Probably Wednesday or Thursday where I'm not getting new information. This is just, if I were the teams, what would I pick? So this is not a prediction of what draft night will look like. Even though we're only a week away, we're not close enough yet. I'll do one of those next Wednesday night or Thursday morning, just so I don't get fed new information. And in all honesty, something new could come out in between those. For example, Laramie Tunsil, the gas mask photo, came out with hours before the draft started, and it tanked his stock. So, yeah, before we start, make sure you subscribe, turn the notification bell on, throw a comment down below, do all that fun stuff, and let's just hop right into it. Number 1, the Jaguars. If I were the Jaguars. Now, I don't necessarily think it's a lock, but me personally, if I'm the Jaguars, I'm taking Aiden Hutchinson. All right, Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan. As much as I hate, for him to fall away from Detroit, I think that would be an awesome story. I think Aiden Hutchinson is the number 1 overall pick. He's been that for the past couple months. Kayvon Thibodeau has fallen out of that. There's been talks about Trayvon Walker. Ika Mekwonu was the first number 1 pick for a while. Evan Neal was that for a while. And honestly, I think offensive tackle is very much on the board, but I think edge is really what you need. You want to pair someone with Josh Allen and really wreak havoc off the edge, get to the quarterback a lot faster. That should make up for your somewhat lackluster secondary. I think you spend a good amount of money in the offseason on a bunch of so-so players, so I really think you need someone who could develop into a very good player. Number 2, the Detroit Lions. I don't think you go quarterback at 2. I don't see a quarterback worth going at number 2, and I know quarterbacks get drafted early. I think you're fine with Jared Goff. I think if you want to take someone at 32, you can. I think that's of course an option. But if I'm the Lions at 2, what would I do? This is one of my harder to predict picks because you kind of need a lot. I could see them going Evan Neal. They took Penei Sewell. He can play both positions. You can see them going Ika Mekwonu. It's all about what they value as an organization. I could see them going Trayvon Walker. I saw a mock today where someone had Sauce Gardner going number 2. I love Sauce Gardner. Don't think a cornerback should ever go number 2, especially when they took a corner number 3 2 years earlier. That's just my personal opinion. But if so. I'm going to say the Lions go... It's so hard. I think Ika Mekwonu, offensive tackle out of NC State, or he can play guard. I think he exudes that Dan Campbell, mauler type of, we'll go down. If you knock us down, we're going to come up. And while we're on the come up, we'll bite a kneecap off. I think he has that nasty streak, that mauler inside of him that I think Dan Campbell really likes, but kind of similar to the Jeff Okudah situation. I think you just took tackle. I think you should take. I think they go Trayvon Walker here, edge out of Georgia. I think he's the move. you don't really have much off of the edge as it is. And so I do think Trayvon Walker is someone you take number 2. If you're the Texans, both the supposed top edge rushers are off the board. You need offensive tackle, or so you could take Evan Neal. I personally think Ike Mekwonu is the best tackle in this draft. I just really like Ike Mekwonu. I think his name is awesome. I think Ike is a very real possibility here because something that's not talked about, I believe it's Titus Howard. They've been playing him at guard. He's a much more natural tackle, and Ike Mekwonu can play guard. But that brings up the question: do you take guard number 3 overall? And I would say no. I think you could still play him at tackle. And honestly, if you're gonna take, I'm torn. And if you want like a pass protector, then you really go Charles Cross. But if you want the potential best tackle, the guy with the most potential, then that's definitely Evan Neal. Or do you say, no, we're going Kayvon Thibodeau because we need edge help really bad, and he has potential to be the best guy? Or do you take a reach on a guy like Jermaine Johnson? Man, what a difficult situation they're in. Now, something to consider, they have the 13 pick. So you can take someone, you can take someone and then hope that you have another option there at 13. And I'm going to think about it this way. They have a young quarterback in Davis Mills that they think they have a guy. So if you're the Texans at number 3, you want to protect that quarterback. So you're thinking Ike Mekwonu, Evan Neal, or Charles Cross. And I'm going to say Evan Neal. Evan Neal, number 3 overall to the Texans out of Alabama. I think, like I said, he has potential to be an amazing tackle. And I think that if you have a young quarterback like that, he's someone you want to protect. All right, so we got the Jets at number 4. Something that's been talked about a lot is Sauce Gardner to the Jets at 7. Now, if you're the Jets, do you want to risk taking something else and him not being there at 9? Let's look at who we got. Giants twice, Panthers, Falcons, and Seahawks. I think if you're the Jets, I think you can get away with not taking him now. Now, if you're the Jets, do you take that risk? Do I see the Jets as someone willing to take that risk, or are they saying, no, we need a corner? That's a difficult situation you're in, huh? You have Carl Lawson in the edge. You have a good interior good interior offense or defensive lineman, and honestly, our offensive line is fine. I don't think they need to take a tackle. You know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna go Sauce Gardner, number 4. My reasoning there is you don't need to take a tackle because you have good, like Hy Becton, and I think it's Morgan Moses is who they got. He's not great, but he's serviceable. You can upgrade him at a later time. So I think you take Sauce Gardner, who's going to be like day 1 starter, a really solid defensive player for you. Self-proclaimed best player in the draft. I think you definitely take Sauce Gardner at number 4. Now, if you're the Giants at number 5, you need offensive line. Ike Mekwonu, just no questions asked. Am I comfortable with that? Yeah, Ike Mekwonu. Andrew Thomas has started playing very well, starting to not look like a bust at number 4 overall. I think that you pair someone else with him because the Giants, Daboll has said Daniel Jones is our guy, and so you're just going to want to protect him, Interesting stat, and I don't think this includes last season because I definitely read it before last season, but Daniel Jones has not fumbled while running the football. He's only fumbled inside the pocket. So we talk about, Danny Derps and the turnovers and the fumbles. The interceptions, sure, he can throw some bad interceptions, but ball security is not an issue with him because he doesn't know how to carry a football. It's because he's getting smacked. People are so quick to be like, man, get Saquon out of New York because the offensive line is so bad. How about, hey, maybe we believe in Daniel Jones. Do I think he'll be good? Probably not. But how about we give him at least some courtesy? So we'll take Ike Mekwanu at number 5. Panthers up at number 6. What the frick are the Panthers going to do? There was rumors them taking Kenny Pickett at 6. Matt Rule wanted to recruit Kenny Pickett to Temple whenever he was there. And then, Malik Willis is on the board. But then it's like, oh, they might be interested in Baker. So do you take a quarterback here? Do you take offensive tackle? Do you take someone like, Kayvon Thibodeau fell to you? Do you take a risk on Kyle Hamilton, who I think Kyle Hamilton's slightly overrated. I used to think he was the best player in the class. I don't think so anymore. I'll get to that whenever he gets picked. What do you take? Edge rusher. Pair someone up with Brian Burns. And if you're the Panthers, if you're Matt Rule, I think if you're Matt Rule, your job is a little bit on the line here, and I can't expect them to make a trade during this mock draft. And so I'm going to take Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. And I think your plan with this is you don't start him. I think you let him sit. You let Sam Darnold start. I know last year I was watching an old video and I bit myself in the butt and I got like every quarterback battle wrong. I think you let Sam Darnold start. You let Malik Willis sit the bench. Obviously, Sam Darnold's not like a seasoned veteran, but he's been in the league for 4 years. He knows how to operate in the league. While he doesn't do it very well, he knows the league. I think that would be a smart move. I think Malik Willis has potential to be a really good quarterback. He's a very Josh Allen type quarterback. I'm not saying he will be Josh Allen. I'm not saying that he's like Josh Allen in anything other that he is a very raw prospect with a very strong arm and can be developed into a very good NFL quarterback. That is as far as my NFL comp goes. We're back with the Giants at number 7, and I'm going to stop the fall of Kayvon Thibodeau. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is still a top 3 player in the class. I think he might be the best player in the class. I just think he's a very standoffish person. He's not. Kayvon Thibodeau will be a great football player. I don't know if he'll be a great professional. And I'm more on the side of screw professionalism. I'm playing a freaking sport, and I'm getting paid millions of dollars to do it. And I know there's people like, oh, he didn't carry himself in that press conference very well. Or, oh, he said something on the field that was just, despicable. And I'm like, that's great. He's not a public speaker. He's a football player. Why don't we stop judging him like a professional and start judging him like a football player, of which he is very good. So I think Kayvon Thibodeau goes 7. Falcons at number 8. I think if you're the Falcons, you need edge help. You need to fix up that defense. I don't think you're going to invest much in your offense, or maybe you take Charles Cross. Oh, that's interesting. Charles Cross. Who are the Falcons tack? Is Jake Matthews still on the Falcons? Falcons depth chart. Let's see. How is their tackle situation looking? So they have Jake Matthews and Caleb McGarry. They signed Jermaine Ifedi. So maybe you do take Charles Cross. And you'll do that for a couple of reasons. Who are their edge rushers, though? Oh, yeah, I think you take edge here. Yeah, you got to take Jermaine Johnson. You can take tackle at some other point in life. You just need Jermaine Johnson off the edge. Yeah, you have at least one tackle. You have no edge rushers. So, yeah, they go Jermaine Johnson, edge out of Florida State. Seahawks at number 9. What do you do here if you're Seattle? Do you take Derek Stingley Jr.? Do you take a cornerback? Or am I going to stop the fall of Charles Cross? Once again, let's pull up the Seahawks depth chart. What I should do one day is just prep it before and then just announce the picks, so I don't have to go into the depth chart every single time. So obviously their offensive line isn't good. It's Greg Elam and I don't even know these people. They have Shelby Harris, Poona Ford. So that's another thing where they have Uchenna Nwosu. Sidney Jones and Artie Burns. Okay. If you are a rebuilding team Well, okay, so they're not rebuilding, but they're rebuilding. I think you take Charles Cross. I think offensive line has always been an issue for you. I think you want to take Charles Cross because, that makes it look like, oh, we're going to protect Drew Lock. He's our guy. We want to make sure that he's protected. But that also opens up of if you're trying to trade for a quarterback or, in free agency or whatever. You're like, hey, look, we have a good offensive lineman. It's just a good offensive lineman. And then you're the Jets back at number 10. You're the Jets at number 10. You took Sauce Gardner at number 4. So I think here you got to take wide receiver. And I think the first wide receiver off the board should be Garrett Wilson, and we'll do that at number 10. Yeah, I didn't take a lot of wide receivers. I just think there's a lot of good players that should not be, that should be taken before wide receivers. I think the Jets taking Garrett Wilson at number 10 would be a very smart move by them. They need wide receiver help. I like Elijah Moore. Not a big fan of Corey Davis. I should not have taken wide receiver. They re-signed Braxton Berrios. Like, why would they need any more wide receivers if they have Braxton Berrios? Nah, don't worry. They'll be fine. Garrett Wilson's better. Maybe. He will be better one day. He's not better right now, obviously. And then you're the Washington football team. At number 11, you also need wide receiver, but you also need corner. Derek Stingley is there on the board. Drake London is there on the board. Oh, that's difficult. Do I take Derek Stingley Jr. or Drake London? So let's think. Ron Rivera is the head coach. So I'm going to take Drake London here. I don't think that Ron Rivera will like that Derek Stingley Jr. Did not put forth a lot of effort. I think there's a lot of teams that will have issues with that because the LSU team wasn't that good after his freshman year, and so he just wasn't really playing hard. And I think teams are worried, especially these earlier teams are like, hey, if our team's not good, if our team is not good, then are you gonna try? Are you gonna give up? Are you gonna give forth poor effort? What are you gonna do when things are not perfectly the way you would like it? What are you gonna do after someone throws a bomb on you? What are you gonna do when you're having a bad game? And I think that will be cause for a lot of issue. Now, Drake London, on the other hand, I think that's a good pick for Washington. Big body receiver. I think he's something like 6'4", massive wide receiver. Would be a good red zone threat. Someone, in the red zone, you kind of take the heat off Terry McLaurin. You kind of take that burden off the carry. Gives Carson Wentz a big guy to throw the ball to. I think that's a really solid pick for Washington. We're at Minnesota at number 12. Kyle Hamilton's on the board and Derek Stingley. Now, as I was saying, I do think that Derek Stingley's issue will be there for a lot of people. I also think that the Vikings have a cornerback issue, and they'll say, you know what, Derek, we have an issue, you have an issue. Let's work together and solve our issues, as every good couple should. They're gonna take Derek Stingley at number 12 overall. Obviously, they have Patrick Peterson. I believe he's back on another one-year deal. But I do think they need Derek Stingley there to kind of help out a little bit. You're the Texans at number 13 overall. Now, there's a couple things you could do here. You could take a wide receiver like Jameson Williams. You could take someone like Chris Olave. You could take someone, you could go down the board, Treylon Burks, if you really want to take a reach. You could look at other positions. Kyle Hamilton is still on the board, which is kind of what I'm leaning to right now, in all honesty. I'm trying to think. Justin Reed left. They haven't signed another safety. So here's my problem with Kyle Hamilton. And I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to take him to the Texans, but I'm leaning that way right now. I think that Kyle Hamilton is not... So Kyle Hamilton is a strong safety. And there might be people who don't know. So free safety and strong safety, everyone's like, oh, he's a safety. There's very different safety roles. So there's free safety, strong safety. Free safety, you kind of want to be more of an athlete, faster, more agile. Your change of direction is better. You can play in a single high coverage. So basically what that means is you are the deep person everything deep sideline to sideline, that's your responsibility. So you want someone who's faster and more agile. Kyle Hamilton is not fast or agile. Obviously, like, he's fast. He's faster than most people. But as far as a safety goes, he's not really the fastest in the world. I think Kyle Hamilton's role is really more of kind of like a Jamal Adams, a box safety type person, not the blitzer that Jamal Adams is. I think Kyle Hamilton is more of a box safety. And I think, I'm gonna bring him to the Texans at number 13. I do think his role is a box safety. I don't think he can man up on tight ends. They tried to use him there at Notre Dame. I don't think that's what he's good at. He kind of got embarrassed a couple times there. I don't think he should be doing that. I think he should really be a box safety. But I do think that he's very good at that. He's made incredible plays. And I do think that he can develop into a very good safety. I just don't think he's some generational overtop safety that people have made him out to be in the past. I'll still take him at 13, but I do think that he's just a little overhyped. The Ravens at 14. They're going to take Kenny Pickett because Lamar Jackson's not coming back. No. So, I'm in between Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt. They need nose tackle is really what they need, or interior defensive line is really what they need. Trevor Penning is another option. I just don't think they'll go with that. What are the edge rushers still on the board? What are the edge rushers? Yeah, edge rushers are kind of tapped out. If only David Ajabo didn't tear his Achilles, that would be amazing. Still probably go in the second round, but maybe late first round or two. Pick 14, you're the Baltimore Ravens. I'm already at 22 minutes. Gosh dang, we're going to have to speed this up. All right, we're just going to go Jordan Davis. Freak athlete. Dude is absolutely insane. Dude's massive. I hate that I have him going to the Ravens. I pray to God that I am wrong and someone takes him before 14. But if he does, that's just the way of the road. It's the way life goes. The Eagles at number 13, or 15 rather. What do you do here? You're kind of at a point where, so this is where the draft kind of gets shady. It's like Kenny Pickett, Jameson Williams. And I think this pick is actually going to be pretty easy for me. I think you go Andrew Booth Jr., Darius Slay is getting up there in age. They don't really have much else at corner. I think you want to take another corner, especially, you play the Cowboys twice a year. They like to throw the ball a lot. You saw Washington take a wide receiver. You saw the Giants take offensive line, which should scare you a lot. Really, the Giants should be scared, or Giants should be feared. But I do think you should take Andrew Booth Jr. just to shore up another boundary spot. We have the Saints at 16. So this is between Jameson Williams and Trevor Penning for me. I think... So with wide receiver, you know what? No, I'm going to take Jameson Williams. I don't think you take Trevor Penning here. You have another pick at 19, and I would just hope that he falls to them. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think you really need wide receiver. Michael Thomas has been very much in and out with injury. He's been struggling with a lot of injuries this year, or these past couple years, and then even then, he's up there in age, and he's expensive. And not only that, but he's really your only you have solid wide receivers, but you don't have another really good wide receiver. And so I think you take Jameson Williams. Obviously, medical testing will change that in the next week, or stuff will come out in the next week that makes that change. But I think as of today, Jameson Williams, and then the Saints are going to be like, man, we should have taken Trevor Penning because the Chargers are going to take him at number 17. Justin Herbert, they want to protect him. You're going to want... Rashawn Slater was an amazing pick. I think you hope for another home run like that at number 17. Now, you're the Eagles back at 18. So, Chris Olave's on the board. I'm really liking Chris Olave right now. JJ Arcega-Whiteside is moving to tight end, I saw, which is crazy to me because I was like,
That's great, but he's too small to pass block, and he still doesn't have hands. So what's his use gonna be? But so they do need wide receiver a little bit more. So it's Devontae Smith, and who the heck else? Like, let's go Eagles. Depth chart. So they have Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal, Jalen Rager, Greg Ward, JJ Arcega-Whiteside will be a tight end for them. So I think they're going to take Chris Olave, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I think Chris Olave does very much have potential to fall to the, the second round. But I think there's a couple wide receiver needy teams, and I think Chris Olave is a solid pick. Now, if you're the Saints, what the frick, dude? You just took our guy. We wanted Trevor Penning. And then I think they might go Devontae Wyatt here. Let me just make sure they didn't pick up any massive interior defensive linemen in free agency. I don't think they did. So it should, they might have lost David Onyemata if I'm not mistaken. I was. Shy Tuttle. Yeah, I think you go Devontae Wyatt here, interior defensive line out of Georgia. Another big boy. Dude, this Georgia defense is going to get so many first-round picks, and I think Devontae Wyatt deserves to be a first-round pick. Kind of going to help eat some double teams so Cam Jordan doesn't always have to get double teamed. Should free up the other pass rushers. I like that pick. Now, the Steelers at number 20. Kenny Pickett's on the board. But I'm not going to care about any of that. I'm going to take Zion Johnson. The Steelers just need offensive line. Najee Harris was so good last year with nothing. You just got to give him a little something to work with. And then hopefully not. Hopefully he'll have a worse year. Najee will. I don't think he will. As a football fan, I hope he has a better year. As a Browns fan, I hope Najee never plays football again. He decides it's not for him. That's what I hope. 21, we have the Patriots. This one's kind of rough. So it says their top need is linebacker. And I'm going to go once again to the depth chart because I just want to make sure that I'm getting fed the right information by the Draft Network. Let's go depth chart. Obviously, they traded for a Devontae Parker, so they have another mid-wide receiver. Oh, James Furtez is going to be E. So I also saw something that it was Rob Ninkovich, and he said the Patriots are not going to draft based on necessarily need. They're going to draft the best player available because Bill Belichick has faith that he can just plug someone in and they'll do a good job. I do think if you're the Patriots, Trent McDuffie is an interesting option here because they do need corner. But I think you might take someone like Tyler Linderbaum's really a safety. I think if I were the Patriots, I would take Trent McDuffie here. You lost J.C. Jackson, unless... Let me just look again. Linebacker is an who are their linebackers? Juwan Bentley. Oh, Mac Wilson would be a starter. Knowing my luck, Mac Wilson is going to be insanely good on the Patriots, actually. Mac Wilson, former Brown. So it's Tyler Linderbaum, Trent McDuffie are my real options here. Or I guess Devin Lloyd is there as well. Daxton Hill. I think you might see a little bit of a reach for Kenyon Green here. But it's what I think. If I were in charge of the team, what would I do? And I would take Trent McDuffie. You just need corner help. Non-negotiable. You brought Malcolm Butler back, but he's old and washed. So you definitely need that help. And if you're the Packers at 22, you're kind of like, well, what the frick, man? There's no wide receivers. I think it's pretty easy. I think you take Treylon Burks here. Or maybe you don't and hope he falls. I'm going to have them not take wide receiver here. I'm going to have them take George Karlaftis as an interesting pick. Daxton Hill is an interesting pick. Ooh. I am going to have the Packers pick. So this is what I mean. It's kind of a toss-up of a bunch of mid players They need edge. I'm going to have them take George Karlaftis. I think they need the edge help. Zadarius Smith left. Preston Smith obviously still there. Rashawn Gary, I don't think he's really an edge rusher. He's more of an interior lineman to me. But that opens up the flexibility, and you can even have him sit a year and wait till someone's contract expires. The Cardinals also need corner. Khair Elam, I just don't like him at 23. They need edge. And you know what? I'm going to have them actually... Do I like Jahan Dotson or Traylon Burks more? Because I'm going to have them take wide receiver. Oh, that was close. I accidentally almost picked something. So they have DeAndre Hopkins and they have Rondale Moore. They re-signed AJ Green, but I do think you want another wide receiver in that rotation for how much they're probably going to throw the ball. And so Traylon Burks, you really want a slot guy. You want a slot guy. And I think I like... Let's look. Because I don't... You know what? Screw that. This is my team. If this were my team, I'm freaking taking Traylon Burks, no questions asked. And then, if I'm the Cowboys at number 24, I'm taking my boy Daxton Hill out of Michigan. I think Daxton Hill is going to be an amazing steal, and I'll probably make an entire podcast just about that because I really like Daxton Hill. More to come on that. If you're the Patriots, you really need corner. You have a need for wide receiver, but I think they're going to take the first running back. And it's a split between Bryce Hall and Kenneth Walker. I think I'm going to have them go Kenneth Walker. I really like him out of Michigan. That's probably a little more of my bias coming out. And then you have another wide receiver needy team. So expect some of these teams, I'm talking Green Bay, Arizona, Titans, to try to make a move up to get a premium wide receiver in this draft. But they were not able to get that wide receiver, so I'm going to have my first linebacker come off the board, and that is going to be Nakobe Dean from Georgia. I really like Nakobe Dean. I think he will be a very good defensive player in this league for a very long time. We are going to have Kenyon Green, Texas A&M, go to Tampa Bay. And now you're the Packers. You kind of have to take Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. You need a wide receiver. And then the Chiefs. It says they also need wide receiver. I don't think they need wide receiver that much. I think your big problem is edge, and I think you take Boye Mafe and hope for Frank the Shark Clark to be gone here soon. And then once again, you're up at 30. I'm gonna take Khair Elam. I think they need bodies at corner. If you're the Bengals, corner, safety, interior off. I don't think they need offensive line right now. I don't think you spend a first round pick on offensive line with all the moves you made. I'm gonna have them take Louis. I can never say his name. Louis Sign. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to take Louis C., safety out of Georgia. Once again, that Georgia defense was incredible. And I left Kenny Pickett on the board? Wow. Well, Kenny Pickett's going to go to the Lions at number 32. So that's going to be my round one mock draft. I forgot Kenny Pickett existed, in 100% honesty. But we'll just go through real quick. Number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars take Aiden Hutchinson. Number 2, we got Trayvon Walker. Number 3, we got Evan Neal. Number 4, we got Sauce Gardner. Number 5, Ike Mekwonu. Number 6, Malik Willis. Number 7, Kayvon Thibodeau. Number 8, Jermaine Johnson. Number 9, Charles Cross. Number 10, Garrett Wilson. Number 11, Drake London. Number 12, Minnesota takes Derek Stingley. Number 13, Kyle Hamilton. Number 14, Jordan Davis. Number 15, Andrew Booth Jr. Number 16, Jamison Williams. Number 17, Trevor Penning. Number 18, Chris Olave. Number 19, Devontae Wyatt. Number 20, Zion Johnson. That might have been Malik Willis if I had realized he was still on the board. Number 21, Trent McDuffie. Number 22, George Karlaftis. Number 23, Traylon Burks. Number 24, Daxton Hill. Number 25, Kenneth Walker. Number 26, Nakobe Dean. That could also be a quarterback. We'll talk about that later. Number 27, Kenyon Green. Number 28, Jahan Dotson. Number 29, Boye Mafe. Number 30, Khair Elam. Number 31, Lewis C. Number 32 is Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. I will do another mock draft. I might do 2 more before the draft next Thursday. But that is all for today. Thank y'all so much for listening. Comment down below. Tell me about how stupid I am for leaving Kenny Pickett on the board until the last pick in the first round. I feel kind of dumb now, but I'll do another one. It's no big deal. Like I said before, make sure to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever the next mock draft comes out. I love y'all. Have an amazing